In this week's video, I want to look at a group of plants that are flowering now in late September. They don't care that autumn is on the way, they're really going for it, and I think of them as the fireworks in the borders at this time of year. Now, if there's one thing as a gardener I'm always trying to do, it's to extend the interest throughout the season, to make it as long and as interesting and exciting as possible. That's partly why I really like these late flowering plants, because they do just that. They're a pepper of interest right at the end of the season when most things are starting to shut down. So for me, the ultimate firework, if you like, is the dahlia. Dahlias have extraordinary flowers, an explosion of colour. Some of them have very complicated flowers and others less so. This is a Cactus Dahlia and the colours are extraordinary. Very, very strong, and there's few plants which are going to do this for you. It radiates from the centre with this explosion of yellow with these red tips. And whilst they're not fully hardy, they're worth the effort, because at this time of year they look amazing either by themselves or alongside other plants. Now this is a gem of a plant. This is a salvia, and the salvias are a big group. They're all related to sage, like the culinary sage, and this is one of my favourites. This is Salvia Amistad, and it has this deep purple blue flower on top of quite tall stems, which does make it good for growing alongside other taller perennials, because it's got the height, it's got the stature, if you like, to hold its own. And really the one thing that knocks it on its head or stops it flowering is the frost. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much flowering you're going to get from this plant, and just get that real wow factor. So this is the tallest plant that I'm looking at today. This is a Vernonia, and its common name is the Ironweed. It's a North American plant, extremely hardy, and it has these very, very beautifully coloured purple flowers on top of this landing pad structure, if you like. It's been flowering for the past few weeks. It will continue into October, and the other reason I particularly like this plant is during the depths of winter, the skeleton of it is beautiful. It's strong, it's structural, and you basically leave it up until the spring when you cut it back. This is Salvia Hot Lips. It gets its name from this beautiful dark red marking to the outside edge of the petals. And this is a plant that what it lacks in size of flower, it makes up for in numbers of flowers. It flowers from July well into October, and if you want to get it to flower a bit more, just give it a bit of tomato feed. So far we've been looking at flowers, but it's also worth remembering that some of the leaves of our plants are just as colourful. This is Euonymus alatus, and its common name is the Spindle Tree, and as the leaves go from dark green, they start to evolve, if you like, into this incredibly intense colour. And on a day like today, the light picks it up and it glows from a distance, this plant. It's my favourite shrub for late summer colour, and it doesn't get overly big either, so for even the smaller garden it's perfectly suited. Autumn colour in the garden, in my mind, is just as important as the spring, and whether you do that using shrubs with beautifully coloured leaves or plants that flower their socks off until October, the choice is yours. Why don't you let me know what you're using yourself in the garden for late autumn colour by leaving a comment below.